everyone, and welcome to Crystal Cast Episode 3. This is a show where I talk about anything and everything Sailor Moon. Anime, manga, musicals, merchandise, everything. Today we've got some exciting merchandise announcements. I've got more information about the Untold Story of Sailor Moon book that's coming out, and I've got more of your questions. So let's dive right into it. The first thing I want to talk about is the new merchandise that was announced on Wednesday night. I don't know when that was in Japan. I think that was Thursday in Japan. I don't know. But we just got an announcement of 5 new pieces of merchandise that are coming out. One of them expected, one of them not expected, and one of them that has made Moonies both elated and angry at the same time. So the first thing I want to talk about is the Crystal Star Proplica that was announced. As you probably know, Proplica has made the Moonstick and the Cutie Moonrod already, and we were suspecting that we were going to get another Sailor Moon Proplica announced, and we did. A lot of people were hoping that it was going to be the third one, the Spiral Heart Moonrod, but it was not. They have officially made a locket. They made the Crystal Star Locket. It's gorgeous. It's of course it's a Proplica, so it's perfectly replicated. It plays music, it plays sounds, it says Usagi's transformation phrase, and it's just gorgeous. This is the one that people were a little both excited and a little angry about because they've already released, actually quite a few versions of the lockets, but not a musical version, but like compacts with mirrors, their little cases. There's other versions of the lockets that they've released this year and last year that people already bought, and so people were a little saddened by this because it's like now I've heard a lot of Moonies say, oh, I wish I wouldn't have bought those. But of course, if you knew a Proplica was going to come out, of course you wouldn't have bought those. So of course they weren't going to announce that they were making a Proplica version of this. Personally, I unfortunately had to be very choosy on what I buy because I am not made of money, so I cannot buy every single Sailor Moon thing that comes out. One of my favorite things of Sailor Moon merchandise is these roleplay toys, basically, is what they are. The Proplica ones are made for adults. They're nicer. They're meant for display purposes, but they are my favorite thing ever. So this really excites me. And that is why I held out, because I figured they're making all this merchandise, they're remaking the wands, they're going to remake the lockets, they're going to remake the brooches with music and everything and lights, which is what I was waiting for. So I said I'm not gonna buy those other versions that they don't even light up or play music or anything. Yes, they are gorgeous, they are beautiful, they're perfect for just sitting on your shelf and displaying, but I want the one that makes noise and lights up. I'm like, if it's not battery operated, I ain't buying it. So that's the reason that people were a little like, oh man, you announced this after we bought all this other stuff. But we're in this new age of Sailor Moon where there's not like already all this merchandise from every season. There's going to be stuff continually coming out, so we're going to have to kind of wait. And with all this merchandise coming out, we kind of have to pick and choose what we want to buy. I mean, and everything they announced, I want. It's ridiculous. One other reason I'm kind of happy that I waited and haven't bought any Figuarts Zero figures yet is because the other thing they announced is that they are making Sailor Moon Crystal style Figuarts Zero figures. These are gorgeous statues that they've already released. The 5 Inner Senshi in the 90s Sailor Moon anime style, and they're gorgeous. They're actually like in the middle of their attacks, and they're so beautiful. But they are making Sailor Moon Crystal versions of these. They have shown a full color version of Moon and Mercury so far, and they are absolutely gorgeous. I want these figures so bad. They are so beautiful. I love Sailor Moon's hair, and just like the skirts are like they're flowy. I love the Figuarts Zero figures because they look like they're in motion. They're not just posed. They look like they're actually animated, even though it's just a static figure. I love them so much. So these were, I don't think anybody really expected these to be announced now. I think we expected Sailor Moon Crystal figures at some point, but not this soon. So this was a big surprise, and the fact that they're in full color and they look like they're ready to go, and they are gorgeous. I'm so excited to see Mars, Jupiter, and Venus. The last thing that was announced, the last two things I should say, which people were kind of expecting, was the Tuxedo Common and Chibi Moon, the regular Figuarts, the ones that actually have movable joints and you can pose them however you want. They announced Tuxedo Common and they announced Sailor Chibi Moon. I don't think people were expecting to see Chibi Moon this early. The only thing now is where's Sailor Pluto? They've kind of skipped Sailor Pluto, so now we have all 10 Senshi and Tuxedo Mask in these Figuarts figures, except Pluto. So I am hoping that we're going to see at least a prototype of Pluto very, very soon. It's curious that Saturn was the first outer Senshi to be released, but they still haven't released Pluto. I don't know, but I'm sure we'll get her soon. The Chibi Moon one looks so cute, and the Tuxedo Common one, I've only seen one picture. It's him actually posed with Sailor Moon, and he doesn't have his cape. Now I'm sure he has the cape, but maybe they wanted to kind of display him in this sitting position, and it didn't really work because of the way he's positioned on the moon. If they had his cape there, it would have just looked really awkward. But I think he looks awkward without the cape, so I don't know. I really, really want to see like a posed version of him with the cape, and I want to see what accessories he comes with. I'm really curious to see if he comes with roses or like possibly his cane from the original anime, something like that. So I cannot wait to see more pictures and see what he comes with and see the different poses you can put him in. And the same with Chibi Moon. Alright, now we're going to move on to an update that I have about the incredible untold story of Sailor Moon, which is a book that is being written by a former employee of DiC that worked on Sailor Moon and is writing a book. He's going to interview people in the industry who worked on Sailor Moon and get a lot of behind the scenes information and we can learn about just a lot of the history of Sailor Moon and how Sailor Moon affected our culture here in America very, very heavily. There are some teaser questions that I have for you guys that we're going to find out in this book, and some of these are really intriguing. So here's some questions that you can think about, and when the book is released, we will learn the answers to these. Why does the Avengers movie series owe everything to Sailor Moon? And it's not just because they're all superheroes and superheroines. Was there a business war between Japan and the United States over Sailor Moon? 3 is, did Disney own Sailor Moon at one point and not know it? What? Number 4, do you know why Sailor Moon is really a $50 billion franchise, even though most would agree it failed in the United States? I think it's pretty obvious from what I just mentioned in the last segment why it's a $50 billion industry around the world. Because we're buying that merchandise like it's hotcakes, like we don't even care. Take my money, Sailor Moon, take my money. 5, how did Sailor Moon help build the #1 cable channel in America? And the last question that we will find out the answer to, how did Sailor Moon beat Titanic and Star Wars? What? It's the merchandise. It's that merchandise. I have a letter here from the creators of the incredible untold story of Sailor Moon that I'm going to read for you now. This is so exciting. You're going to want to hear this. Greetings to all Crystal Cast viewers from the incredible untold story of Sailor Moon campaign. We are 1/4 funded, and we got there in the space of about 3 days just from your responses. The Sailor Moon community is as powerful as ever, and you are making this unique book project possible. So let's keep up the momentum. we're going to reward AuroraPeachy's channel and all of her viewers with a one-of-a-kind special offer. This one has a time limit, so be sure to take advantage of it before it's gone. We are setting up a new perk to coincide with the episode 3 of Crystalcast. It's the Crystalcast exclusive perk on their Indiegogo campaign page. If you order the Crystalcast perk and leave a comment in our campaign page, mention Crystalcast in the comment, your print copy of the incredible untold story of Sailor Moon will be signed by Theodore Jefferson, Larissa Kane, and a mystery Sailor Moon celebrity. How cool is that? And to make it even more fun, if the Crystalcast perk sells out, because it's limited and timed, we'll give everyone who got the original print signed books. So if you guys go over to the page and order this book and help fund their Indiegogo campaign so they can make this book possible and make it happen and get all the interviews that they want to get, if it sells out, then every single person is going to get a signed copy of the book, including Mystery Sailor Moon guests. Wow, this is so cool. Okay, the Crystalcast exclusive will only be available for a short time, so take it while you can. We're almost there. When we get halfway to our goal, we'll announce our audiobook and our first stretch goal. Please don't forget to follow our Twitter accounts for up-to-the-minute news. You can find them with the hashtag HimeTheBook, H-I-M-E, HimeTheBook. Also, please spread the word to every Sailor Moon and anime fan you can find on Facebook, Twitter, and all the Sailor Moon message boards. And as always, you can visit the campaign page at moon.sablewolf.net. Now, all of these links are going to be down in the description, so just go down there and go to moon.sablewolf.net, and that's going to take you to the Indiegogo campaign page where you can see all of the perks and order the book. And everywhere online that I've seen people talking about this, they are so excited because this is a book that this is like behind the scenes information that we've never seen before. So this is really, really exciting, and I'm really excited about this. Thanks again, Theodore, for, letting the Crystalcast viewers in on this and giving them special perks and stuff. It's just, this is awesome. This is so cool. And this is just one more thing in Mooney culture that we can help make happen, and it's all because we love Sailor Moon. So it's just so cool. I'm stumbling over my words because this is really exciting. Okay, so we are going to move on to the question section. I have some questions here. I have saved even more questions from the last Crystalcast and from my other Sailor Moon videos. I have saved them, so if you don't see your question, just please ask again in the comment section here, and I will go through them and hopefully pick your question, because I get so many good questions. I wish I could answer every single one, but I would be here forever. So let's get started. This is, of course, like I've said before, this is in order of like least spoilery to most spoilery, even though even just talking about the merchandise spoiled some stuff. So, but if you just skip to the questions, this is the least spoilery stuff at the beginning here. So this is a question that nobody in specific I have for this question who asked it, because a lot of you asked this after my last question of talking about if I was into astronomy, which I am. I'm super into astronomy if you missed last Crystalcast, and it is not because of Sailor Moon. I like Sailor Moon even more because I have always loved astronomy. So a lot of you asked if I'm also into Greek mythology, which of course is very connected to the planets as far as mythology goes. And to answer that simply, I'm not as into mythology as I am the planets, but I certainly know all of the parallels. I know all of the, which planets represent which gods and things like that, and what they represent, and even how that connects to the Sailor Senshi. Of course you have Zeus and Jupiter, and so that is associated with like power and lightning. So of course you have Sailor Jupiter who uses lightning. So those kind of connections and stuff. I know them, but I'm not quite as into it per se as astronomy. But I do like it and I really enjoy it. I really want to find, there's a book when I was growing up, my dad owned a book that was all about the planets, but they also gave you this little tidbit about the Greek mythology behind each planet. And I think that's really, and it was very colorful, and had pictures and had all this information. And that was that one book I credit very heavily for getting me into astronomy and that kind of thing. So yeah, that's I love it. I need to find that book. I hope my parents still have it. Moving on to a question from Inoue Orihime. Asks, so I know this has been asked a lot, but where do you shop for merchandise? This is another question that I get constantly. So there's, with the internet, there's a million places to buy Sailor Moon merchandise online. If you're talking about physical stores, of course, it depends on where you live. I live in America, so I can only really talk from an American perspective. As far as like if you are in a place where there's a hot topic, they have a lot of times have American released Sailor Moon merchandise. But it's a lot harder to find. Obviously, it's a lot easier if you go online. So some websites that I can throw out there just off the top of my head. Now, most of my Sailor Moon merchandise I got years and years ago, and I was a huge shopper on eBay. And there's still thousands, tens of thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of Sailor Moon items on eBay. So if you are able to use their system, if you're able to use their bidding system, and I think PayPal is about the only way you can pay, then that is probably, you're going to get the most variety, you're going to get vintage items, you're going to get new items, but you have to be careful because sometimes if there's a bidding war over an item, then the prices can skyrocket, especially if it's a vintage item. But if you're able to use eBay, I would definitely check there. You can find probably whatever you want. A lot of places that I like to shop for the newest Sailor Moon merchandise that are actually like retailers online is yesasia.com. I really like, and they have a lot of Japanese stuff, but the site is very, it's in English, and it's very very friendly to sending stuff overseas. So no matter where you live in the world, you'll probably have a good time with Yes Asia. Also, CD Japan. Either go to Google and search for CD Japan, or you can go to, it's cdjapan.co.jp. I have ordered from them in the past many times. That it's actually where I got the vast majority of my Sailor Muse CDs came from CD Japan. They're a little more catered to the Japanese audience, even though they have their site available in English, because like all the prices are in yen, but they do still tell you the price in like US dollars, for example. I don't know how it differs if you're in another part of the world, but I do highly recommend CD Japan. I also recommend JList, and there's a whole lot of sites that you can get stuff from. Those are just some off the top of my head. Also Amazon.com, which I buy everything off of. I am obsessed with Amazon. I just bought a couple things off there today. But they have stuff like the Figuarts Zero figures. They have the regular Figuarts figures. There's also, the thing you have to be careful about on Amazon, though, is there's a lot of bootleg items. The same with eBay. You got to be careful that if you want official merchandise, that you're actually getting official merchandise. So just be careful of that. How to identify something as bootleg or official is a whole nother topic that I'm not really prepared to go into right now. But so just be careful of that, and be aware that Amazon and eBay, it's personal sellers, not just like a retail like business. Whereas like Yes Asia and CD Japan are like businesses, like you're going to get official products from there. Whereas Amazon and eBay, almost anyone can sell on there, so just be careful of getting legit products. Okay, so I'm going to move on now. If I think of any more really good ones, I'll put them down in the description. And I'm gonna be coming back to that question and elaborating on it in future episodes. So let's move on for now. Another question from Michael Iozano. What theme song do you like more, the 90s anime or the new one? It's a good question. I love them both, and I'm going to cop out on this again because I really do like them both for different reasons. Moonlight Densetsu is beautiful. It's it's legendary. It's classic. Every Sailor Moon fan knows Moonlight Densetsu because it is the penultimate Sailor Moon song. It's the theme song for the first 4 seasons. We also have to include the Sailor Stars song in there, which is extremely beautiful. I love the Sailor Stars song. It gets me energized when I listen to the Sailor Stars theme song. But Moon Pride, I don't think there's any song that could get you more hyped up and excited for Sailor Moon than Moon Pride. So I like them for different reasons. See, the reason I don't like to compare them and say, oh, Moon Pride is my favorite, because, well, Moon Pride is brand new, it's sparkly new, we're all excited about Sailor Moon Crystal, so of course Moon Pride sticks out in our minds, rather than Moonlight Densetsu. We've known that theme song for 20 years, so, it's easy to say Moon Pride is my favorite, because it's brand new and shiny. But I love all 3 of them, but I do have to admit that Moon Pride is pretty damn awesome. It's the only one of the theme songs I have on my MP3 player that I blast in my car and sing along as much as I can sing along to Moon Pride. So if I'm not copping out and saying I love them all, then I would actually have to say Moon Pride. Alright, moving on. The Amazing Chubbiness. What is your favorite Sailor Moon song? 90s stage crystal versions. I remember mine was My Only Love and Moonlight Destiny. Moonlight Destiny is beautiful. Gosh, for people who haven't seen the 90s anime or haven't seen it in full, I don't think there is an anime that could have more songs, both lyrical and instrumental, than the original Sailor Moon anime. That anime has a ridiculous number of songs. Oh my gosh, it is the list just goes on and on and on. The ones that stick out in my mind, I really couldn't give you a song that I like more than any other song. There really is not just one. Like in the musicals, I could say in Sailor Mew I've always loved Link. Link is one of my favorites. Especially the original version, sung by Hara Fumina, is my favorite. Definitely one of my favorite Mew songs. As for Crystal, it is both my favorite songs so far are both Moon Pride, of course, and the background music that plays at the beginning of Crystal Cast. That music is so magical to me. I keep wanting to make a video of that music to Sailor Moon's transformation, because I actually thought when I first heard that it was a music that played in the trailer, one of the trailers for Crystal. When that music played, I was convinced that was going to be her transformation music, and when it wasn't, I was kind of shocked. But I'm kind of glad, because they've used it in episodes at very intense moments to up the feels, and it works. So I'm really glad actually that they it's not just reserved for her transformation. As for the 90s anime, some of my favorites, of course, like I said, Moonlight Densetsu and the Sailor Stars song. I love Tuxedo Mirage. The ending song to the S season is definitely one of my favorites. That song is gorgeous. What else? Oh, there's so many songs. Of course, I love the background music that I love. Of course, I love the Outer Senshi transformation music. Of course, it hypes me up. It's so awesome. I also love the Starlight's transformation music. And I found myself thinking a lot lately about the another bunch of songs that I want to put to Crystal Transformations are the transformation songs in the original anime once they made the inner Senshi's individual transformation songs that actually say their names. Like it's as Mercury's transforming, they're singing Sailor Mercury, and it's so cool, and each one is unique. Sailor Mars is different than Sailor Jupiter and Sailor Venus. Each one of them have music that actually sings their name while they're transforming, and it's so cool. That always hyped me up, and I love that. So that's one that I think would be cool to make videos putting that music to those transformations. I wonder if the lengths would sync up. I bet they would. Gosh, so yeah, there's a lot of songs. Another some image songs that I love besides I love all of Haruka's image songs. Kaze ni Naritai is one of my favorites, of course. It's beautiful, makes me cry. And then I love Sailor Mars and Sailor Venus's image songs. And Venus's favorite is oh my gosh, the name just left me. I'll have to find it and put an annotation or something. I forget the name of it, I'm sorry. But I like all Sailor Venus's songs. But and then Fire Soul Bird in Love and Flame Sniper, those are both good songs. I was never too crazy about Amy or Makoto's songs. I don't know why. I don't know. I like the faster songs. Sailor Mars had another slow song that I like too, but the Japanese names are completely escaping me at the moment. Forgive me, I'm a little tired today, and these puppies have been barking nonstop, and it's really stressing me out. Okay, I'm going to move on. I'm sorry if I totally really didn't answer your question, because you actually asked what is my most favorite Sailor Moon song, and honestly, I really can't tell you. I really don't have a number one favorite. I do agree that My Only Love is a fantastic song. For as much as I have mixed feelings about the Deke dub, it had some fantastic music. I will give it that. Moving on to the next question. Moon P86 says, how do you feel about the Soldier to Guardian translation change in the franchise? I love this question. I even noticed in the new dub they're using Guardian, which will be interesting since they are keeping the original background music, which will eventually say Sailor Soldiers when they're transforming, which is another one of my favorite songs. I love the Sailor Soldiers transformation song. And that's something that I've always thought of too. I said, there's a transformation song where they sing Sailor Soldiers as they're transforming. Personally, I wish they'd have kept it Soldier. Guardian just sounds less powerful. As much as I was iffy about this change at first too. I wasn't sure how I liked it. Guardian is just it's too many syllables, to be honest. Like Sailor Soldiers, it just like rolls off your tongue. Sailor Senshi, Sailor Soldiers. Whereas Sailor Guardian sounds like chopped up to me. Just saying it is a little more difficult than I think. I mean, I always just say Sailor Senshi, but I've always loved the sound of Sailor Soldiers. So saying Sailor Guardian, I'm getting very used to it. I don't mind it now at all. And I understand why they made the change. I can understand why soldiers internationally can have maybe the wrong connotation. Like I think in America, when you hear soldier, you immediately think of the military. Like that's how we use the word soldier. Like a soldier is a person in the military who defends our country, who fights for our country. And while that kind of like a fighter or defender fits the Sailor Senshi, Guardian, actually, I think that the term Guardian does fit them more. It does fit them better. because they are guardians. They're especially like the inner senshi. They guard the princess. The Sailor Moon guards the moon and the earth, and the outer senshi guard the solar system. So it actually makes more sense from from the term, the word's definition. It does make more sense than soldier, even though they are soldiers. They fight. So both make sense. As far as personally what I think, I'm getting used to Guardian. I still prefer soldiers, especially because it was the basically the 90s version of the anime. It was basically the official term, because there's songs that say Sailor Soldier, so it was the official translation. When you say Bishoujo Senshi Sailor Moon, it translates to Pretty Soldier Sailor Moon, not Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, although that's what it translates to now. So I'm not against it. I don't know if I wish they had kept it Soldier. It is interesting because they're redubbing the 90s anime and they're saying the new term Guardian. But however, it's definitely Guardian in Sailor Moon Crystal. So when they, Viz has both the 90s anime and Sailor Moon Crystal. So when they, if they said Soldier in the 90s anime, in the 90s redub, if they were saying Soldier throughout, and then suddenly in Crystal they were saying Guardian, that admittedly would be a little weird. it would be like, why did you suddenly change terms? Are you different kinds of Guardian soldiers now? I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm rambling here. Like I said, I'm a little out of it today. Okay, so moving on. Okay, moving on to the last question for today's Crystal Cast. This is from Big Will 420. Asks, I was wondering what your favorite stage or evolution of Sailor Moon is. Your favorite. For example, I like Eternal Sailor Moon. So he's asking which is my favorite, basically original or classic, whatever you want to call it, her original outfit, Super or Eternal. I guess you could count, if you think Sailor Cosmos is Sailor Moon, I guess you could count that. I personally have no idea. Some people have asked that, what I think about Sailor Cosmos. I have no idea. My favorite is definitely Super Sailor Moon. I just think that the costume and her transformation and everything about Super Sailor Moon is gorgeous to me. It's definitely my favorite. The classic costume is just that. It's classic. When most people think of Sailor Moon, they think of her red, white, and blue costume. That is Sailor Moon. Eternal is also beautiful. There's some things that I never really liked about it, like the poofy sleeves I think are kind of goofy, and the wings, while beautiful, just make her look like big and bulky when she's running around trying to fight. But I love them all, but by far Super is my favorite. I don't really distinguish between S Super and Super S Super. Technically, like, the locket is different, and depending on the version of Sailor Moon, I think a couple of the, like, colors are very slightly different or something, but it's just, yeah, Super Sailor Moon. And the same goes for the Senshi. The rest of the Senshi, I love their Super versions the most. I think that they're more beautiful. It elaborates their costumes a little bit. I never cared actually for when all of the Senshi are Eternal versions, because all of them are exactly the same. And I always liked the very slight differences in their costumes, the different earrings, the different shoes, the different, just the little details, like, mind is failing right now. But when they all go Eternal, they're all exactly the same, just with different colors and different hair. It's like, other than that, it's like there's nothing to distinguish them from each other. And I always thought that was actually a little boring. It took away their uniqueness. So while I still love them, it's just, yeah. Super is my favorite because it's like the original. They're still unique, but it's just, like, embellished a little bit. It's a little flashier, and it's prettier. I just think it's pretty. I cosplayed Super Sailor Moon because Super Moon is my favorite. I love Supermoon. Okay. That is all for today's Crystalcast questions. I'm going to end the show with my recommended video or channel here on YouTube, and then also a recommended website. My recommended video for today is one that I shared on Twitter recently. It is the Sailor Moon Symphony, led by Bobby Crow. This is an actual full live orchestra. Puppies, I'm trying to record a video. Stop! Oh my gosh, they just don't stop fighting. Come here, come here, come here. No fight, no fight. Stop, okay. So, this is the, I hope I say this right, Iconequestra Orchestra. I'm going to read their bio on their YouTube channel here. This is amazing. They're based out in New York. The Soundtrack Orchestra presents Sailor Moon Symphony, an orchestral tribute to the score of the popular 1992 anime Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon. Originally conceived as a celebration of the show's 20th anniversary, this fan-made arrangement restructures themes and background music from all 5 seasons of the show into a 5-movement symphony, complete with a concerto. This channel is 100% dedicated to Sailor Moon music and will include behind-the-scenes footage, additional arrangements, and interviews with the musicians. You can visit Iconequestra the main website for more, iconequestra.org. Of course, the links to this will be down in the description, as well as a link to their YouTube channel, youtube.com/Sailor Moon Symphony. This is gorgeous. They recently had a full live hour-long concert in New York where they put together, it was just this giant medley of songs, background music, theme songs, through all 5 seasons. And it was amazing. It's amazing to see this live. I especially recommend somewhere around the middle of the video, the Sailor Moon S movement, where they play the Outer Senshi theme song, and they have a violinist stand up and do like the main, I don't know music terms, but the main like violin track from the Outer Senshi theme, and it's just gorgeous. It's so moving to see it being played live rather than just listening to it, and you know, you appreciate the different instruments that go into it. And like, I had no idea, like this girl was like just rocking out on this violin, like her fingers were moving so fast, and it's like, I just never thought about that many instruments and that much effort going into performing some of this music, even just background music. It's like, it's crazy, and it's really impressive to see. So I highly recommend checking it out. That's led by Bobby Crow, who I've done an interview with before, and he's a fantastic person, very passionate about Sailor Moon, very knowledgeable about Sailor Moon and in all its incarnations, Mew, Pretty Guardian, everything. He just loves it, and so it's really cool to see fans who have grown up and have these talents now as adults, and putting those talents into use to create something for Sailor Moon. It's magical to me. It's so cool to see stuff like that. Speaking of people who have put their talents to use in benefiting the Sailor Moon community, my recommended website for this week is missdream.org. A lot of you have probably heard of this website. If you have not, you go there right away. Missdream.org has just archives upon archives of Sailor Moon content, both print and from the manga and like magazines and advertisements, posters, flyers, everything, as well as the anime, musicals, Pretty Guardian. Just, there's so much information and content, and it is all translated by them and their staff. Ellie and James head it, and they are the main translators, and they are just so incredibly passionate about everything Sailor Moon, and it's their ultimate goal to create an international archive of everything Sailor Moon, everything Naoko Takeuchi, and it is all translated by them, and they are professional translators, so you know that it's accurate. You know that it's done by Sailor Moon fans who know the show, who love the show, and they're constantly coming out with new things. And they have a giveaway going on right now, so if you head over to their website, they are actually giving away a Proplica moon stick, among other wonderful Sailor Moon crystal items, as well as classic Sailor Moon items. And all you have to do is go there and tell them what has kept your interest in Sailor Moon throughout all these years. Why are you still a Moonie today, even when there was not all this new buzz and excitement about Sailor Moon? So, and possibly go over there and win some prizes right now. So check them out. They've also been a supporter of Sailor Moon Antics. They've helped me out a lot throughout the years. And just wonderful people, and they do fantastic work. So I highly, highly recommend you check out missdream.org if you haven't, and check out everything that they have done for the Sailor Moon community. That is a great place to get subbed to Sailor Mew as well. I have a lot of questions about that, so go on over there to get that. That is all dying. That is all I have for this Crystal Cast. Thank you guys so much for watching and for listening to me ramble and rant on and on and on. I will see you on Saturday for Act 9, Princess Serenity. Oh my god, I'm so excited. So excited. Okay. So I will see you then, and then next week I will have another Crystal Cast for you guys where I will hopefully talk about more new merchandise. I hope. Oh, it's all this stuff I cannot buy yet. I want so bad, and I'm just like, oh, just look at the pretty pictures. Wish that I had $1 million so I could buy it all. Alright, so I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Please go down to the description. Ignore my dogs. Go down to the description and check out all of the links that I have talked about today in Crystal Cast. And I will catch you guys next time. I'll see ya. Bye.